and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Ebony Explains It All, and today we're gonna review an iconic book series from my childhood. Do you guys remember the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark collection? These books were published in 1981. It's a collection of stories by Alvin Schwartz. There's 3 books in the series, and they were all scary and terrifying to me. And like, I read them when I was way too young to be reading them, but they're like the chef's kiss of my childhood. So I got this book collection, these 3, which has all 3 books. I got them from Urban Outfitters. Now, I have been looking for the original version of these books for a really long time, and like, it took me forever to find them, like years. It took me years to find them. I'm sorry to say to you younger kids, you guys were not, like, if you're younger, like maybe if you're born in like 2000s or something and you read these books, you really weren't as scared as I was reading these books, because they redid the covers and they changed the picture art. They redid the covers and they changed the picture art, so it really is not as scary. So you're in for a treat. They actually released a movie last summer called Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, and it actually had these stories in the movie. If you haven't seen it, I would say check it out. I wasn't a huge fan of the movie, I'm not gonna lie. For me, it sort of fell flat because these books are, you know, a bunch of collected short stories. And so what they were trying to do was tell a bunch of short stories, but they had to make one big story in order to tell the little stories. And I think the big story that they were using to tell the little stories just wasn't it for me. It kind of, it was a little boring. Like, the overall storyline was kind of boring, and I was just like, okay, and when are we gonna get to the next book? When is the next short story coming, and when's it gonna pop up? You know, I do think that, you know, not to critique somebody's art, but I do think the series would have been better if it was told and written from the perspective of someone who kind of grew up with the horror. I know Del Toro is like an iconic legend in horror, but I feel like when these books came out, he was an adult. And so being scared as an adult and appreciating horror as an adult is way different than appreciating it or being scared as a child. You know, your brain isn't fully developed, so stuff is a lot more real. So I would have loved to see the story through the lens of somebody who grew up reading the stories at a very young age, and like being scared and like being like, oh, I gotta sleep with the light on, and like, mom, I'm scared, like I was. They did announce last week that they're making a part 2 to the movie, so fingers crossed that they get some of that nostalgia from my childhood in there, that they have a better overall storyline that brings all the little stories together. So, you know, I'll still go see it anyways, because, you know, it's my childhood, can't miss it. Okay, let's get into it. The first story that used to scare the pants off me is called Wait Till Martin Comes. An old man was out for a walk. When a storm came up, he looked for a place to take shelter. Soon, he came to an old house. He ran on the porch and knocked on the door, but nobody answered. By now, rain was pouring down, thunder was booming, and lightning was flashing. So he tried the door. When he found it was unlocked, he went inside. Except for a pile of wooden boxes, the house was empty. He broke up some of the boxes and made a fire with them. Then he sat down in front of the fire and dried himself. It was so warm and cozy that he fell asleep. When he woke up, a black cat was sitting near the fire. It stared at him for a while, then it purred. That's a nice cat, he thought, and he dozed off again. When he opened his eyes, there was a second cat in the room, but this one was as big as a wolf. It looked at him very closely and asked, "Shall we do it now?" "No," said the other cat. "Let's wait till Martin comes." I must be dreaming, thought the old man. He closed his eyes again. Then he took another look. But now there was a third cat in the room, and this one was as big as a tiger. It looked the old man over, and it asked, "Shall we do it now?" "No," said the others. "Let's wait till Martin comes." The old man jumped out of the window, and started running. When Martin comes, you tell him I couldn't wait, he called. Okay. I think it's safe to say that we all have seen The Tiger King, okay? So, 3 cats. First of all, let's just stop right here. Cats are creepy. Cats look at humans like, I know what's going on, like we see each other. That's how cats look at humans. So, first of all, cats are creepy. Second of all, a cat as big as a wolf. A cat, which real wolves they're big, but they're not like super big. They're not like dire wolves in Game of Thrones or anything, but they're not dogs either. But then we have a cat as big as a tiger. See that, we've all seen The Tiger King. We all saw when that cat was dragging Joe by and trying to get him, and just no. So I'm not a huge fan of cats. Cats creep me out. We know about Egyptian folklore where cats are like stealing people's breaths if the cat jumps on you at night. So the real question here, like, look at this picture. Look at that picture of the cats. Like, look at it. They're clearly up to something. Like this cat right here, okay? Like, what is he doing? They're up to something. First of all, what I really want to know is, like, who is Martin? And what does he want to do with this man? Obviously, he wants to eat this man, okay? We know tigers eat people. We know wolves are carnivores, and cats eat cat food. But, however, in January of this year, there were 2 separate incidents of cats seen on a recording eating humans. They were eating humans in Whitewater, Colorado, at a research facility that studies body decomposition. So the cats, somehow they were feral, they broke in and they were eating the soft tissue off of the bodies. Like they were going for like the necks and the shoulders and the arms, because I guess it's like, right here is pretty soft on me, like maybe not on Angela Bassett, but like right here is pretty soft to get to. So the cats were actually recorded in year 2020 eating humans. So no, like that story absolutely terrified me. I'm like, so there's 3 cats you have to deal with, and then there's like Martin, who we don't know. Is Martin a cat? Like, what is Martin going to do? Like, what does Martin want? So the looming threat of Martin scared me to death. And this man was pretty smart leaving. I would never, he went into he went into the empty house, and he saw he had made a mistake, and he said, you know what? Peace out. Terrifying. Okay, the next story that I read, honestly, I don't really want to read it aloud because I feel like, oh my gosh, like, no. Okay. So the next story that terrified me as a kid was called The Red Spot. Let's get into it. While Ruth slept, a spider crawled across her face. It stopped for several minutes on her left cheek, then went on its way. What is that red spot on my cheek? She asked her mother the next morning. It looks like a spider bite, her mother said. It'll go away, just don't scratch it. Soon, the small red spot grew into a small red boil. Look at it now, Ruth said. It's getting bigger. It's sore. That happens sometimes, her mother said. It's coming to a head. In a few days, the boil was even larger. Look at it now, Ruth said. It hurts and it's ugly. We'll have the doctor look at it, her mother said. Maybe it's infected. But the doctor could not see Ruth until the next day. That night, Ruth took a hot bath. As she soaped herself, the boil burst. Out poured a swarm of tiny spiders from the eggs their mother had laid in her cheek. No, know. So the spider like crawled on her cheek and laid eggs. Let the record show that in the year of our Lord 2020, I am definitely afraid of spiders and have been my entire life. So this story was absolutely horrifying to me as a child. The idea of spiders like laying eggs in my cheek, and then like, you have that one spider. It's like, oh, it's a spider bite. That's bad. Okay. But the fact that the spider is using your precious cheek as a nest for the babies to pop out, and like, oh my gosh, so now it's like not one spider, but you have like 10 jillion spiders. Like, how many? I don't even know. But good news, guys, I googled it and it comes to find out that spiders will not lay eggs in human skin because it's actually really inconvenient for them. It makes it hard on them, makes it hard for them to check on the babies. So close call, I guess. But I'm just learning this now as a grown-up. But as a child, the possibility of a spider laying its eggs inside me was real. Honestly, I don't even like saying the word spiders, or even Googling spiders or looking at spiders, because like the law of attraction, I definitely apply that to spiders. Like if I say it, it's gonna come. So I should actually I should stop saying it before I see one. Speaking of things that we shouldn't say, this actually brings me to another story that absolutely terrified me as a child. So this one isn't really a story, but it's actually a game, instructions, and a game to play from the book. And this one is from the third book. Okay, it's called A Ghost in the Mirror. This is a scary game that young people sometimes play, trying to conjure up a ghost in the bathroom mirror. Many don't really believe that a ghost is going to appear, but they try to raise one anyway for fun and the excitement. Some are willing to settle for any ghost, but others have a particular ghost in mind. One of these is a ghost named Mary Worth, who's also known as Mary Jane and Bloody Mary. She's actually the heroine of an old comic strip, but some say that she actually was a witch who was hanged at the infamous witch trials in Salem, Massachusetts in 1692. Another of these ghosts, La Lorena, the weeping woman who wanders the streets and cities and towns from Texas to California and throughout Mexico looking for her lost child. Still another is Mary Wells, a young woman who is supposed to have been killed in a car accident in Indianapolis, Indiana, about 1965. Her ghost is one of the vanishing hitchhikers. It is said that again and again she thumbs a ride home in a passing car, then vanishes before she gets there. Here's how the ghost hunters try to raise a ghost. First, they find a quiet bathroom, close the door, and turn the lights off. Second, while they stare at their face in the mirror, they repeat the ghost name usually 47 times or 100 times. If any ghost will do, they will say any ghost in place of a name. If they do manage to raise one, the face will slowly replace their face in the mirror. Some say a ghost is likely to be angry at being disturbed. If it gets angry enough, they say it will try and shatter the mirror and come right into the room. But a player can always turn on the light and send the ghost back to where it came from. And when that happens, the game is over. The Ghost in the Mirror. I really don't think it's a good idea to have those kind of instructions in a children's book. Like, go stand in front of a mirror, little child, and say a ghost name. Like, we'll give you some ghost name, or you can say any ghost, and the ghost will come and replace your face in the mirror. No, no. So I think people calling on ghosts, I just feel like is a mistake, and we can just look at movies and pop culture, even in pop culture, and be like, oh yeah, that is honestly not the best idea. You calling somebody randomly by saying any ghost in the mirror 47 times, it's kind of like you picking up the phone and dialing a random number. You don't know who you're gonna get on the end of the line. So I think that's like a horrible idea. Like, why is this in a children's book? Like, no. So recently, the tragic death of this young woman has been going all around Twitter. So apparently, the young woman drowns from having an anxiety attack in the bathroom. But according to her social media, people found that she was actually trying to contact spirits and certain deities and voodoo, and that she was using like certain tools to call on like Papa Legba or other people. And then like people are speculating that she called the wrong person, and that as a result of it, you know, something happened. She like as a result of it, she had like this anxiety attack that caused her to drown because she was calling on things and she really wasn't knowledgeable about them. And it just didn't end very well. So who knows if that's really what happened. I think it's possible, like, but you know, we can't call that. But I think it is like a really big lesson that people should be careful. You know, be careful with that kind of stuff. Like, you're not gonna catch me doing it because, you know, I don't want to call the wrong person. You know, I know who I want to call. You know, I don't even like talking on the phone. I have like 3 people I call on the phone on a regular basis. One of them is my mom. Other than that, you know, talk, okay? So, yeah, no. Don't go, guys, don't go stand in the mirror and do this. Like, no. So those were the 3 stories that really, really scared me as a child. Let me know which story left you guys shook. And did anybody like the movie? If you did, let me know why you liked the movie, your favorite part. You know, I'm willing to give it another try. Maybe a different perspective can make me be a little bit more of a fan of it. See you guys next time.